In 1964, the automotive world changed forever. Porsche introduced a car that would not only redefine sports cars, but also create a legacy that continues to this very day. This was the Porsche 911. More than just a vehicle, it became a symbol of engineering brilliance, design perfection, and racing dominance. The original 1964 Porsche 911 was a blend of tradition and innovation, a successor to the beloved Porsche 356, yet bold enough to set its own path. What started as a simple concept became one of the most recognizable and respected names in the history of automobiles. The origins of the 911. The Porsche 356 had been a success since the late 1940s. Light, nimble, and loved by drivers, it put Porsche on the map. But by the early 1960s, the company needed something more powerful, more modern, and more luxurious. Ferry Porsche, the son of company founder Ferdinand Porsche, wanted a new model that could offer both sports car performance and grand touring comfort. The project was given to his son, Ferdinand Alexander Porsche, better known as Butzi. His task: create a design that was both timeless and unmistakably Porsche. The result was the 901 prototype, shown to the world at the Frankfurt Motor Show in 1963. But there was one problem. Peugeot, the French automaker, had rights to car names with a zero in the middle. So Porsche simply changed the middle digit, and the 911 was born. In 1964, production began, and the legend officially hit the roads. Engine and performance. At its heart was a brand new engine, a 2.0-liter, air-cooled, flat-six, rear-mounted. This engine produced 130 horsepower at 6,100 RPM and 174 Nm of torque. That might sound modest by modern standards, but in the 1960s, it was impressive, especially in such a lightweight package. The car weighed just 1,080 kilograms. Thanks to this power-to-weight ratio, the 911 could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 8.5 seconds, with a top speed of 131 miles per hour. For the time, this was quick enough to challenge much larger and more powerful sports cars. Porsche engineers gave the 911 a 5-speed manual gearbox, allowing drivers to fully enjoy the flat-six engine's rev-happy nature. The sound of that engine became an essential part of the car's identity: air-cooled, raw, and mechanical. But the rear engine layout was both a blessing and a curse. It provided incredible traction, especially in poor conditions, but it also created tricky handling characteristics. Drivers had to learn to respect the car, or risk sudden oversteer. This challenge became part of the 911's legend, a car that rewarded skill and punished mistakes. Design and dimensions. The 911's design was pure genius. Butzi Porsche managed to create a shape that was modern, elegant, and instantly recognizable. Long, flowing lines, a sloping roof, upright headlights, and a clean, purposeful silhouette. The dimensions were compact. It measured 4.16 meters in length, 1.61 meters in width, and stood only 1.32 meters tall. Despite its small footprint, the interior felt surprisingly spacious, thanks to clever packaging. Inside, Porsche kept things simple. 5 round dials dominated the dashboard, a layout that became a Porsche trademark. The steering wheel was thin and elegant, while the seats were sporty yet comfortable enough for long drives. Every element was designed with the driver in mind. The 911 wasn't about luxury for luxury's sake, it was about creating a pure, focused driving experience. Features and driving experience. For the 1960s, the Porsche 911 came with advanced technology. Independent suspension on all 4 wheels, disc brakes all around, and precise steering made it one of the best handling cars of its time. On the road, the 911 was alive, communicating every detail to the driver. The balance was unique, secure in some conditions, unpredictable in others. But for those who mastered it, few cars could match its excitement. It was also practical. The 911 had a small rear seat, making it usable as a family car, at least in theory. Its front trunk, though modest, added practicality that many pure sports cars lacked. Porsche had created a car that could thrill on the track yet serve for everyday driving, a formula that remains core to the 911 today. Price and market. When it launched in 1964, the Porsche 911 cost around $6,500 in the United States. To put that in perspective, the average American family car cost less than $3,000. This meant the 911 was positioned as a premium sports car, out of reach for most, but highly desirable for enthusiasts who wanted something different from American muscle cars or British roadsters. The 911 wasn't about brute force or showmanship. It was about precision, engineering, and German quality. Buyers weren't just purchasing a car, they were investing in a philosophy of driving. Racing heritage. Porsche had always been involved in motorsport, and the 911 quickly proved itself on the track. Its lightweight, durability, and traction made it competitive in rallying, hill climbs, and endurance racing. By the late 1960s, the 911 was already a winner. It dominated events like the Monte Carlo Rally, and Porsche engineers continued to refine it for competition. The car's adaptability meant it could be tuned for everything from road racing to rally stages. The foundation laid by the 1964 model would lead to Porsche's legendary racing success in later decades, especially in endurance events like the 24 Hours of Le Mans, where Porsche became the most successful manufacturer in history. Cultural impact. Beyond racing, the 911 became a cultural icon. It was admired by celebrities, featured in films, and became a status symbol for those who appreciated engineering excellence. Unlike flashy sports cars, the 911 projected understated class. It wasn't about showing off. It was about being part of an elite group that understood driving passion. Over the decades, this image only grew stronger, making it one of the most respected names in the automotive world. Collector value. Today, the earliest 1964 Porsche 911 models are among the most valuable classic cars. Well-preserved examples often sell for over $1 million at auctions. Their rarity, historical importance, and timeless design make them highly sought after by collectors. For enthusiasts, owning a 1964 911 isn't just about having a car. It's about holding a piece of history, the beginning of a story that continues to this day. Legacy and influence. The Porsche 911 is unique in automotive history. While most cars evolve drastically over time, the 911 has remained remarkably consistent in its design and philosophy. Every generation can trace its DNA directly back to the 1964 original. That distinctive silhouette, the rear engine layout, the focus on driver engagement, all were born in the first model. Over 60 years later, the 911 is still one of the best sports cars in the world, constantly improving but never losing its essence. The 1964 Porsche 911 set the standard not just for Porsche, but for the entire sports car industry. It proved that performance could be combined with usability, and that timeless design could outlast trends. Conclusion. The Porsche 911 of 1964 was more than just a car. It was the start of a revolution. A perfect blend of German engineering, innovative design, and racing spirit. It wasn't the fastest, it wasn't the most powerful, but it was perhaps the most balanced and enduring sports car ever made. From the moment it launched, it captured the hearts of drivers, racers, and collectors. And more than 6 decades later, the legend of the 911 continues stronger than ever. The Porsche 911 wasn't just built for its time. It was built for all time. The legend began in 1964, and it never stopped.